The black luxury sedan rolled quietly into the familiar driveway, its engine shutting off like a held breath. Arjun Malhotra sat still for a moment, his hand resting on the steering wheel. He hadn't planned to come home early. The business deal in Singapore had wrapped up faster than expected, and instead of calling ahead, he wanted to surprise his fiancée. After years of poverty, sleepless nights, and relentless ambition, Arjun was now a self-made millionaire. Yet no matter how far he rose, one thing never changed: his devotion to his elderly mother, Sharda. She had raised him alone after his father's death, working double shifts, skipping meals, and hiding her pain behind tired smiles. Arjun stepped inside the house quietly. The living room lights were on, but something felt off. Then he heard it, a sharp, angry voice cutting through the silence. "You useless old woman, move faster!" Arjun froze. His heart pounded as he followed the sound toward the kitchen. What he saw made his blood run cold. His mother was on the floor. Sharda Malhotra, her frail hands trembling, was trying to pick up broken pieces of a plate. Her knees shook and her breathing was shallow. Standing over her was Priya, his fiancée, her face twisted with disgust, her foot nudging the old woman's arm. "I told you not to touch my things," Priya snapped. "Look at this mess. Do you know how expensive that plate was?" Sharda tried to speak, her voice barely a whisper. "But Beta," I slipped. Before she could finish, Priya kicked the plate shards aside, one piece cutting into Sharda's hand. Blood appeared instantly. Arjun felt something inside him snap. This was the woman he planned to marry. The woman he trusted to care for his mother. The woman who smiled sweetly in front of him, calling Sharda Ma while poisoning her life behind closed doors. "What is going on here?" Arjun's voice thundered through the kitchen. Priya turned around, her face draining of color. Arjun? You're home early?" Arjun didn't answer. His eyes were locked on his mother, bleeding, shaking, humiliated. He knelt beside Sharda, gently lifting her into his arms. That moment, holding his injured mother while staring at the woman who betrayed them both, changed Arjun forever. And what he did next would shock everyone. The kitchen was silent except for Sharda's uneven breathing. Arjun carried his mother to the sofa, his hands steady but his chest burning. He gently wrapped a clean cloth around her bleeding hand. Sharda tried to smile, the same brave smile she had worn his entire life. "I'm fine, Beta," she whispered. "Please don't fight." That broke him more than the sight of blood. Arjun stood up slowly and turned toward Priya. His calm was terrifying. "How long?" he asked quietly. Priya swallowed hard. Arjun, you don't understand." "She's old, clumsy. She keeps interfering." "How long?" he roared. Tears welled in her eyes, but Arjun saw through them now. They weren't tears of guilt. They were tears of fear of losing luxury, status, and comfort. "Since you started traveling more," Priya admitted softly. "I didn't mean to hurt her, but she tests my patience. She acts like she owns this house." Arjun laughed once, short, bitter, hollow. "She does own this house," he said coldly. "And so do I. You? You're a guest." Priya stepped forward, desperation creeping into her voice. "Arjun, please. You know how much I love you." I was stressed. Wedding pressure, society expectations. "Love?" Arjun interrupted. "Love doesn't kick an elderly woman lying on the floor." Priya's mask finally cracked. Her tone changed, sharp and resentful. "You chose her over me every time. Always ma this, ma that. I was supposed to be your wife, not your servant." Sharda tried to stand. "Beta, it's okay. Let it go." Arjun turned back to his mother, his voice soft again. "No, Ma, you stayed silent for years so I could build my life. Now it's my turn." He pulled out his phone and made a call. "Security," he said calmly. "I want Priya Mehra escorted out of my house within 10 minutes. Cancel her access cards. Freeze all secondary accounts." Priya screamed. "You can't do this." "We're engaged." Arjun met her eyes. There was no love left in them. "The engagement ended the moment you hurt my mother." Security arrived quickly. As they escorted Priya out, she begged, cried, and finally cursed, but Arjun didn't look back. He sat beside Sharda again, holding her hand. "I failed you," he said, his voice breaking. "But I promise no one will ever hurt you again." Outside, the door slammed shut. Inside, a son chose his mother over wealth, pride, and false love. And this was only the beginning. The next morning, the house felt different, lighter yet heavy with truth. Sunlight streamed through the windows, touching the framed photographs on the wall. In every picture, Sharda stood quietly behind her son, pride in her eyes, sacrifice etched into her smile. Arjun sat beside his mother at the dining table, personally feeding her breakfast. For the first time in years, she didn't rush, didn't apologize, didn't try to disappear. "Ma," Arjun said gently, "I've arranged for a full medical checkup today." She shook her head. "I don't want trouble, Beta. This is my responsibility," he replied firmly. "You carried me when I couldn't walk, let me carry you now." Later that day, Arjun made a decision that shocked his entire social circle. He called an emergency board meeting. Executives, investors, and close family friends filled the conference room, confused by the urgency. Arjun stood at the head of the table, his posture calm but commanding. "I have an announcement," he began. "The engagement between Priya Mehra and myself has been officially terminated." Gasps filled the room. Before rumors could spread, Arjun continued, his voice steady. "I will also be stepping back from all social appearances for the foreseeable future. My focus will be my mother and my values." Someone asked carefully, "May we know the reason?" Arjun looked around the room. "Because success without character is failure." The truth didn't stay hidden for long. A house staff member, unable to live with the guilt, came forward. Security footage was reviewed. What it showed shocked everyone. Priya verbally abusing Sharda, shoving her, and kicking objects toward her when she fell. The video spread quietly at first and then everywhere. Friends distanced themselves. Invitations disappeared, sponsors withdrew. The same society that once praised Priya now whispered her name with shame. Priya tried to contact Arjun. Dozens of calls, messages, apologies. He didn't respond. Instead, Arjun did something no one expected. He launched the Sharda Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to protecting elderly parents from abuse and neglect, especially in wealthy households where silence is often bought. At the foundation's first public event, Arjun stood on stage with his mother beside him. "This woman," he said, holding her hand, "is the reason I exist. If you cannot respect the people who gave you life, you are not worthy of love, wealth, or power." The audience rose in a standing ovation. Sharda's eyes filled with tears, not of pain but of pride. That day, Arjun didn't just defend his mother. He reminded the world of something it had forgotten. True wealth is not money. It is character. And real success begins with how you treat the weakest among you.